Ever wondered why the quest for perfection often leaves you feeling less than perfect? Welcome to a journey that explores the intriguing labyrinth of perfectionism, a phenomenon that's become all too common in our fast-paced, high-expectation world. It's a trait that's often lauded, and at first glance the pursuit of perfection might seem like a worthy endeavor. After all, who wouldn't want to strive for the best, the flawless, the pinnacle of achievement? But delve a little deeper, and the picture starts to change. The quest for perfection, you see, is a double-edged sword. On one side, it can propel us to great heights, driving us to outdo ourselves, to reach for the stars. It can be the fuel that powers the engines of achievement, the spark that ignites the fire of ambition. Yet on the other side of this sword, there's a darker reality. This relentless pursuit of perfection can also lead to a sense of chronic dissatisfaction, a feeling that no matter how much we achieve, it's never quite enough. It can trap us in a cycle of self-criticism, where every tiny flaw is magnified into a glaring defect. It can make us feel like we're constantly falling short, always a step away from our ideal selves. Perfectionism, in this sense, becomes more of a trap than a goal. It can make us lose sight of our real achievements in the glare of what we perceive to be our failures. It can rob us of the joy of the journey, making us so focused on the destination that we forget to appreciate the path. And the most ironic part, the pursuit of perfection can actually hinder us from reaching our full potential. It can stifle our creativity, discourage us from taking risks, and prevent us from learning from our mistakes. So what's the solution? How do we navigate this complex maze of perfectionism without losing ourselves in it? Perfection, it seems, is a paradox we must unravel. Let's delve into the perfectionist's paradox, the constant tug-of-war between striving for the best and never feeling good enough. Perfectionism, at its core, is a psychological phenomenon, a relentless drive to meet impossibly high standards. It's like running on a treadmill that's always just a bit too fast, leaving you out of breath, yet never letting you reach your destination. Now, imagine a top-notch athlete. Let's call him John. John is renowned worldwide, admired for his skill and tenacity. But beneath the surface, there's a different story. John is a perfectionist. Every time he steps onto the field, he feels an overwhelming pressure to perform flawlessly. A single mistake, a momentary lapse, and his mind spirals into self-criticism and doubt. This insatiable desire for perfection, while pushing him to strive for more, simultaneously feeds his fear of failure. Or consider a successful businesswoman, let's call her Jane. She's built an empire from the ground up, a testament to her dedication and grit. But behind closed doors, Jane is constantly battling her own perfectionist tendencies. She scrutinizes every decision, every strategy, and if her business doesn't meet her exceedingly high standards, she feels like she's failed. Her pursuit of perfection is a double-edged sword, driving her to succeed, but also causing her immense stress and anxiety. These stories of John and Jane illustrate the perfectionist's paradox. On one hand, their quest for perfection fuels their ambition, driving them to achieve great things, but on the other, it creates a constant state of dissatisfaction, a feeling that no matter how much they achieve, it's never quite enough. Perfectionism, then, isn't about achieving perfection. It's about the relentless pursuit of it. It's about setting the bar so high that it's impossible to reach, then beating yourself up for falling short. It's about constantly chasing a moving goalpost, never able to rest or enjoy your accomplishments. The pursuit of perfection, then, often leads to a cycle of constant striving and dissatisfaction. But what are the hidden costs of this relentless pursuit of perfection? Let's delve into the darker side of perfectionism, the side often shrouded in the shadows of our relentless striving. We're talking about the stress, the burnout, the relationship issues, and so much more. While the surface may shine with flawless execution, the undercurrents run deep with a plethora of hidden costs. Consider this. A study conducted at the University of Bath found that perfectionism can lead to heightened stress levels. This isn't your run-of-the-mill everyday stress either. It's chronic, persistent, and can lead to serious health problems like heart disease and mental health issues. It's the kind of stress that keeps you up at night, wrestling with the fear of falling short, of not being enough. And then there's burnout. The burnout that arises from the constant pressure to be perfect. The University of Kent's research found that perfectionists are significantly more likely to experience burnout at work, in sports, and in education. It's the kind of exhaustion that seeps into your bones, leaving you feeling depleted, joyless, and detached. Let's not forget about relationships. The quest for perfection often leaves little room for the messy, beautiful chaos of human connection. Perfectionists can be tough to be around. Their high standards can create tension and conflict. A study from the University of Freiburg found that perfectionism can lead to dissatisfaction in relationships, further adding to the mounting costs. Moreover, perfectionism can stifle growth and progress. The fear of failure can be so overwhelming that it paralyzes action. The reluctance to take risks, to step outside the comfort zone, can keep us stuck in a perpetual state of stagnation. All these costs, they add up. They chip away at our well-being, our happiness, our sense of self. And for what? For the elusive, unattainable ideal of perfection. Perfectionism, it appears, comes with a hefty price tag. How then can we break free from the chains of perfectionism? It's a question that echoes in the minds of many. The answer lies not in the abandonment of high standards, but in the cultivation of self-compassion, realistic goal-setting, and an acceptance of failure as a natural part of growth. Self-compassion is the antidote to the self-criticism that fuels perfectionism. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and forgiveness that we would offer a good friend. Consider the case of Emily, a brilliant and highly driven lawyer. She was often her own harshest critic, always demanding more of herself. When she started to practice self-compassion, she began to treat herself with kindness and understanding during stressful times, rather than harsh self-criticism. This shift in mindset allowed Emily to find peace in her accomplishments, rather than constantly striving for an unattainable ideal. Realistic goal setting is another key to breaking free from perfectionism. We often set unattainable goals for ourselves, setting the bar so high that it's impossible to reach. But consider this: the most successful people in the world are those who set achievable goals. They understand that success is a journey, not a destination. Take, for example, Richard Branson. He didn't start out aiming to build a global empire. He set realistic goals one step at a time. This approach allowed him to build Virgin Group into the multinational conglomerate it is today. Finally, embracing failure as part of growth is crucial. Failure is not a sign of inadequacy, but rather an opportunity to learn and grow. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. He famously failed 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. Yet, he saw each failure not as a setback, but as a step forward. Breaking free from perfectionism, it seems, is not about lowering standards, but about redefining what success looks like. It's about treating ourselves with kindness, setting achievable goals, and viewing failure as an opportunity for growth, rather than a sign of inadequacy. So, can you strive for excellence without being ensnared by perfectionism? You may ponder. The answer is an emphatic yes. Let's recap. We've discussed the perfectionist's trap, its paradoxes and hidden costs, and how it can hinder our mental health, relationships, and life quality. We've also shared ways to break from perfectionism's grip, emphasizing that the pursuit of excellence and continual improvement is healthy and constructive. In contrast, an unrelenting quest for flawlessness can hinder creativity and steal joy. As we conclude, it's time for introspection. Are we aiming for excellence or stuck in a perfectionism loop? Remember, self-improvement is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistent growth, not immediate perfection. It's about learning from our mistakes, not evading them. Let's accept our imperfections, applaud our progress, and aim for excellence, not perfection. It's the journey that counts, not the end point. What are your experiences with perfectionism? How has it held you back in life? Have you overcome a perfectionist mindset? And if so, how did your life change because of it? By sharing your experiences in the comments section, we can all learn from each other and understand that we are not alone in our journey. U University is our safe place to share with like-minded and supportive people to live our best lives. Thanks for watching and for being you.